Hey! You see, the voice coach, that was obviously what did it. We all need a voice coach. On Christmas Eve? Really? Early Christmas, well, there we go. It's a family show. But seriously, folks, how could it have got so bad so quickly? We were told that our Rachel would sort this all out. I'm unclear. Is she Rachel from accounts or is she Rachel from complaints? She's clearly not Rachel from the economics department. I mean, it's unbelievable how bad that budget was. And what's it done? It's destroyed confidence. It's destroying investment. Retail sales are down. Jobs are down. The markets are anxious and tense. And growth is down. And there's more growth figures out later this week, and I'm afraid they're going to be bad. And when people in the private sector are talking to me, and many of you will be running businesses and working, everyone knows this was the worst budget in living memory. In my view, by the worst chancellor in living memory. But of course, the Prime Minister has got to stick with her, because the moment you get rid of your chancellor, you know who's next. So we've got to live with this, and it's not going to be easy. What are they good at? Let's just try and be optimistic, shall we? Any ideas? All right. As an MP, I'm going to call that fibbing, okay? Otherwise, the Speaker might get grumpy with me. There you are, you see. They're very good at taxing people. This is where I wanted to go, sir. The only thing they're giving away, the only thing they're good at, is giving away our money. And who are they giving it to? Well, it turns out they're not giving it to things that might grow our own economy. No. Let's give it away to overseas, shall we? So let's spend 10 billion on overseas climate aid. Is that a good use of our money? No. Okay. Well, let's try something else. What about let's give it away to 22 billion pounds on carbon capture technology? Is that a good use of our money? No. Even the Greens, bless their cotton socks. Even they don't agree with that. They don't think that technology works. Where else do they want to send billions of... Oh! I'll come into that in just a second. Our mate Lammy, Mr. Lammy. Well, good old Dave. Apparently, he's just starting negotiations on reparations with the Caribbean. Is that a good use of our money? No. And then we come to our friends Mauritius. Now, I'm a real estate guy. Bought a bit of property in my time. I've sold a bit of property. If you've got a valuable freehold and someone else wants it, the general rule of thumb is they pay you. I mean, I don't think that's rocket science. I've never known a property deal where I've got a valuable freehold and there's a bloke over there and I say, tell you what, my friend, I'm going to pay you to take this valuable freehold off my hands. And I'm going to then pay you every year and I'm going to link it to inflation. So when you heard a figure of 9 billion quid, that's not the number. They then said, oh, it's inflation linked, it might be 18. That's also not the number. It turns out that the number over 99 years, if you assume inflation at about 3%, it's 50 billion pounds of our money over the next 99 years that we and our children and our grandchildren would be required to pay. This is truly, ladies and gentlemen, it is the worst deal ever in the history of mankind. It's an absolute shocker. And I don't think we should tolerate it. Do you? No. Are you sure? Yes. We should not tolerate or accept this deal. Another worst part of this deal is, so having given away this land, we're going to rent it back, and then we're going to immediately sublet it to our good friends, the Americans. So you might say, okay, well, all right, we'll pay a bit, but at least we'll ask the Americans to cover it. Have we asked the Americans to cover the cost? Not a penny. So we're the muppets in the middle. We've given away this valuable freehold. We're paying all the cash. The Americans are using it. It's so bad that we cannot accept this, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to make a serious statement and commitment, because the history of this is that back in 1965, when the United Kingdom gave Mauritius its independence, part of that deal was that Mauritius gave up any claims to any form of sovereign rights over the Chagos Islands. And to ensure that deal, we actually did pay them back then, in old money, £3 million. We paid to Mauritius. So that was the deal, folks. It's in the treaty that they would give up any claims for the Chagos Islands. So what we haven't heard from this government is that actually, in making claims now for sovereignty, Mauritius is in breach of contract. We paid them, they said they were going to give up any claims, and now they're claiming it. They're in breach of contract, they're in breach of the treaty. It's not us that's breaching anything, according to the ICJ, it is Mauritius. So we can't accept this deal. We don't think it's valid. We think it's ultra vires. So we are going to say to this government and to this country and to Mauritius that when we win the next general election, we will not recognise this deal. Furthermore, when we win the election, we will stop any further payments to Mauritius. Now, we'll see where that goes. But nothing is off the table, folks. Nothing at all. We're the second biggest tourism provider to Mauritius. Nothing is off the table. Visas, diplomatic relations, direct flights, everything should be on the table. We will not allow our sovereignty to be taken from us or given away by these clowns in number 10 Downing Street. So that's Mauritius. I mean, things are not going well. There is some good news. There is some good news. It's only 4 years to go until the next general election. But in the interim, we're going to do amazing things when we're allowed to have elections this year. In some places, we're allowed to have them. In others, they've been cancelled. But we're going to do brilliantly in the May elections. And then next May 26, we're going to do incredible things in Wales and Scotland. And we will prove to people that we actually have the skills and the nous and the oomph and the common sense to win the next general election and to run this country. The other good news is that we're going to scrap other daft things. I mean, the biggest of which, the waste everywhere is extraordinary. I must just touch on my friends, the bats. Now, some of you may love bats. I'm not a great fan. But to typify the waste of public expenditure, our cash in this country, you have to look at our friends, the bats. Now, who would like to spend £1,000 of taxpayers' cash on a bat shed? Anyone? Oh, you're such a stingy lot over here. Come on. Anyone want to spend £1 million over here on a bat shed? Okay. Any bids for 10 million? So if I told you that HS2 has spent 100 million of your money on a concrete bat shed, you'll tell me I'm bonkers. I'm afraid, folks, it's true. Worse than that, the boss of HS2 said he would do it again. 100 million of your cash on a bat shed that doesn't help the bats, doesn't protect the bats. It's complete insanity. Absolutely ludicrous. The waste is everywhere, all across the public sector. And typified, of course, by what I now call net stupid zero. When we get into power, we will scrap that. It's the worst policy in this country. Do you want lower bills? Do you want a lower cost of living? Yes. The fastest way to achieve that is to scrap net stupid zero. Now, I must tell you, my new best friend, Mr. Miliband, I asked him in the House of Commons this week, I said, when will the bills come down, Ed? Or will you just admit that net stupid zero means they will go up and up and up? And he got a bit grumpy with me. He banged on about taking back control. Well, actually, we'd like to take back control of our finances and keep money in our pocket, not giving it away. So if we scrap net zero, if we cut the ridiculous amount of waste, cut the daft regulations, you heard Zia talk about it earlier, these are the way that we can make us better off. Do you all want to be better off? Yes. Do you think the country wants to be better off? Yes. I do too. We know we can do it. And I think that's the reason we're doing so well. We're going up in the polls. We've got the momentum. We've got the energy. It's extraordinary. It's remarkable. And in simple summary, folks, when we win the next general election, we can make Britain grow again. Do you want to make Britain grow again? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Even more than that, do you want to make Britain great again? Yes. How great? Very great. Try that again. How great? Very great. Well, in which case, we have to do one very important thing. We have to win the next general election and make Nigel Farage the next Prime Minister of this country. Is that what we want to do? Yes. Are you absolutely sure?